Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining us today. So, we're looking at a very specific snapshot in time, August 26, 2026. And let me tell you, the sheer volume of news right now paints a truly fascinating picture of our world. It's this massive story about the breakneck speed of artificial intelligence colliding head-on with the friction of the physical world. From huge leaps in custom silicon to intense trade wars, public health warnings, and cultural milestones, these aren't just isolated events. They're all part of one cohesive, rapidly moving story of a major societal shift.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. The global AI arms race. 2. Trade wars in global markets. 3. Public health and tech regulation. And finally, number 4, science, weather, and culture. Let's get to it.
Part 1. The global AI arms race. It is a completely borderless competition. You know, for the longest time, NVIDIA has been the undisputed heavyweight champion of AI hardware. But wow, things are shifting. OpenAI just dropped their new custom inference chip. They're calling it Jalapeno. And it literally just outperformed NVIDIA's Blackwell-class GPUs on the crucial inference X benchmarks. We're talking specifically about performance per watt here. This is an absolute game changer. OpenAI isn't just building the AI models anymore. They are actually conquering the custom silicon needed to run them efficiently. We're expecting to see a limited rollout of these chips by the end of the year, and it signals a massive evolution in AI infrastructure.
And speaking of AI infrastructure, the entire market is laser-focused on one massive number right now, $104 billion. Tonight is a huge night. NVIDIA is reporting their Q2 earnings. And sure, they're expected to post revenue around $92 billion for the quarter. But honestly, the real make-or-break number is that Q3 guidance. Investors are waiting on the edge of their seats to see if NVIDIA guides above $104 billion for next quarter. That single projection is kind of the ultimate catalyst. It's what everyone needs to prove this AI boom still has serious runaway momentum.
And man, you can really see how this arms race is totally global when you look at today's moves. On the consumer side, Apple just opened pre-orders for their very first 2-nanometer desktop chips. They've got the Mac Mini M6 starting at $899, plus the absolute powerhouse Mac Studio M5 Ultra. Meanwhile, over in the world of high finance, SoftBank is eyeing a staggering $10 to $20 billion bond offering. That's just to refinance OpenAI's bridge loan and fuel even more investments. Then, internationally, the maneuvering is just fascinating. China's top AI lab, Moonshot AI, is aggressively negotiating with U.S. cloud giants. We're talking Microsoft, Amazon, Google, demanding up to a 30% revenue share to distribute their Kimi K3 model internationally. At the exact same time, Huawei is proposing to export its top-tier Ascend 950 AI chips directly to Egypt, directly challenging U.S. export controls. It's like a giant global chessboard, and the pieces are moving incredibly fast.
But you know, there is a very real human cost to all this hypergrowth. As of September 30th, Amazon is completely shutting down Mechanical Turk after 21 years. For over 2 decades, MTurk was the literal engine of the gig economy from microtasks, where real people labeled images and text. So why close it now? Because modern AI models are just so capable and so incredibly cheap that they've completely wiped out the need for human-powered labeling. It really is the end of an era. And honestly, a stark reminder of how fast entire sectors of human labor can just vanish overnight.
So that brings us to a really vital question to ponder. With AI shattering benchmarks practically every week and custom silicon rewriting the rules, how is the broader physical economy reacting to this rapid shift? Because while technology can scale exponentially in just a few months, human institutions, supply chains, and international relations, well, they are a lot more sluggish and way more complicated.
Part 2, Trade Wars and Global Markets. Let's look at the economic pushback.
So, despite all the euphoria we just talked about in the tech sector, the S&P 500 has been completely flat. Why? Well, July's PCE inflation, which, remember, is the Fed's favorite inflation gauge, came in unexpectedly hot at 3.7% year over year. That is a really stubborn number, and it has drastically reduced the odds of us getting an interest rate cut heading into the big Jackson Hole Symposium and the September FOMC meeting. Basically, the physical economy is still running way too hot, making capital pretty expensive.
And we're actually seeing this economic friction boil over into direct trade conflicts. After trade talks collapsed this past Friday, the U.S. abruptly slapped steep 50% duties on Canadian goods. And Canada did not blink. Ottawa immediately announced they are matching Washington dollar for dollar. These retaliatory tariffs are going to squarely hit U.S. dairy, aluminum, and cement. It's a classic tit-for-tat escalation, and it's absolutely going to hit the cost of physical materials on both sides of the border. This kind of domestic tension is really mirroring what's happening globally. In the Middle East, Iran has actually gone back to the negotiating table with Oman regarding shipping lanes in the vital Strait of Hormuz. At the same time, the U.S. has been actively clearing mines from the strait. And interestingly, this is all unfolding while the U.S. Secret Service was reportedly monitoring an Iranian broadcast concerning Barron Trump. Shifting gears back homeward for a second, the political wheels are definitely turning ahead of November. Darlene Graham, the sister of the late Senator Lindsey Graham, just officially locked up the South Carolina GOP's Senate nomination, which officially sets up her race against Democrat Annie Andrews. Part 3, Public Health and Tech Regulation. Let's talk about the societal impact.
Okay, this next one is massive. Meta just agreed to a staggering settlement worth up to $16.7 billion with 29 different states. This is all over the teen addiction lawsuits. Meta is actually booking about $10 billion of this just in Q3 legal expenses. But here's the thing, it's not just a fine. This settlement legally forces major structural redesigns for teen safety on Facebook and Instagram. We're talking mandatory usage caps, totally disabling cosmetic filters, strict nighttime blocks, and way tougher age verification. This is honestly one of the most significant moments we've ever seen of society legally forcing friction onto a tech platform to protect human health. And this intersection of tech and health is having a massive economic ripple effect too. Large employer healthcare costs are just surging. They're rising 8.5% here in 2026, and they're projected to accelerate to 9.2% in 2027. And looking at the data, this isn't just your standard run-of-the-mill inflation. This sharp spike is being distinctly driven by the super high cost of specialty drugs, a surge in post-pandemic utilization, and, get this, AI-related tech pricing bleeding right into healthcare administration. So ironically, the exact technology that's supposed to streamline these systems is currently jacking up premium costs for large employers.
Now, while we're so focused on the future of healthcare tech, we are unfortunately facing some very somber realities from the past. Public health officials just reported the first U.S. measles deaths of 2026. 2 unvaccinated residents in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, have tragically passed away. And this is happening as Pennsylvania faces its highest measles case count since 1992. It is a really stark, heartbreaking reminder of how absolutely crucial foundational public health measures still are, even as we're racing into this high-tech future. Part 4, Science, Weather, and Culture. Let's check out the day-to-day events on the horizon. Right now, if you look at the physical environment of the U.S., it is deeply split by some extreme weather anomalies. We've got punishing, record heat just locked in across Texas, Oklahoma, and the Southwest. Highs literally stuck between 100 and 110 degrees. But then, simultaneously, the lower Mississippi Valley and South Florida are getting slammed with repeated downpours and severe flash flood warnings. On a slightly lighter note, wrapping up today's sports, Scottie Scheffler is currently leading the FedEx Cup standings as the PGA Tour Championship kicks off. In hoops, the Dallas Wings just clinched the final spot in the 8-team WNBA playoff bracket with a really dominant win. And in baseball, the AL Central is currently locked in this incredibly tight 3-team race between Minnesota, Cleveland, and Texas as we head into September. We do need to take a brief, respectful pause today to acknowledge a truly massive cultural loss. Dolly Parton has passed away at the age of 80 in Nashville after a short battle with cancer. She was an absolute legend. I mean, just a cultural icon whose influence really spanned generations and genres. Beautiful tributes have been pouring in continuously from across the entire music world, honoring her incredible legacy in both entertainment and her massive philanthropy work. So how do all these intersecting storylines build into the coming weeks? Well, on August 30th, we've got a massive scientific milestone. NASA's Roman Space Telescope is scheduled to launch aboard a Falcon Heavy. It's getting ready to map dark energy with a field of view that is 100 times wider than Hubble. Just 2 days later, on September 1st, there's a seismic corporate shift. John Turnus officially takes over as the CEO of Apple, with Tim Cook transitioning to executive chairman. And then, a week later, on September 8th, those massive 50% retaliatory tariffs from Canada officially kick in, bringing that trade war we talked about right to the physical checkout counter. We have covered an immense amount of ground today. We've seen AI absolutely shatter processing benchmarks. We've seen global markets freeze up on inflation data. We've looked at sweeping tech regulations to protect teenagers, and we've witnessed the physical climate pushing extremes. All of this really points to one unavoidable reality. The future is arriving much, much faster than our institutions were built to handle. So I want to leave you with this final thought. As technology fundamentally outpaces the speed of our daily lives, are we truly prepared for the speed of tomorrow? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this helped connect the dots for you today, and I'll catch you next time.